This represents one of the many occasions that we have all had together and will continue to have together, where we chart the course of history by doing things as most of us have done that have never been done before by people like us. But in so doing, as I said yesterday at the White House celebration of Black History, in so doing, we are part of that relay race. You know, that's how I think about history. It's a relay race. Those upon whose broad shoulders we stand passed us a baton. And the question will be, during the time that we have the baton, have we done everything we can and the best that we can? And then we will pass it on to the next ones. And that's the charge that the CBC has always adhered to. It's a calling to be, yes, the conscience of the Congress, the conscience of the country. And in the time when holding these most important positions, that is about representing the United States of America and all her people, that every one of the members who is here and their team understand the magnitude of the responsibility that comes with our moment to carry the baton. And you know, I think about it in the context of the history of the CBC, and I actually asked my team to just pull some numbers for me. First of all, let's think about it in terms of historic legislation that these members of Congress have passed over the course of time, whether it be the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, and most recently what we all did together, the Emmett Till lynching act. But think about it also here. So the rule of first. We are still making first, sadly, but we are making first. So among the current membership of the CBC, the current membership of the CBC represents 80 million people in the United States. 80 million people. Among the current membership, 6 are the first Black representative from their state. 9 are the first Black women from their state. 5 are the first Black House committee chairs ever to run a committee. And then of course we have Leader Hakeem Jeffries being the first. And then of course, I am the first CBC member to live in this house. So we have achieved a lot, but again, we carry the baton knowing that it is not only about what we do while we are here, it is the legacy we leave, it is the opening of the door even further, the widening of the path even wider, to create the opportunity for those who will come naturally after us, inspired by everyone here. And I think of it also then in the context of where we are at this very moment in the history of our country. And there is a lot for us to celebrate in terms of the work of the CBC and the leaders who are here to arrive at a place where, as the second gentleman and as Representative Carter has talked about, what we have done collectively, because were it not for the CBC and its advocacy, I think Joe Biden, were he here right now and he sends his greetings, would agree that the Biden-Harris administration would not have come into being. It is because of the work of the members of the CBC and all that the members stand for that there was the muscle and the push to do things like create a bipartisan infrastructure law that would address things like lead pipes and the poisoning of our children that disproportionately has occurred from those pipes, and the reason then to replace them in the interest of public health and the education of our children, much less what is just right and fair in terms of equitable outcomes. Were it not for the work of the CBC, when we look at something that I was with Representative Clyburn, Leader Clyburn yesterday in South Carolina, talking about what we are doing in terms of broadband and access to high-speed internet, because it was members of the CBC who said we need to deal with the fact that about 1/3 of Black households with children do not have access to high-speed internet in our country. And those are just a couple of the many examples I can offer that everyone here is familiar with because it's the work you do every day, that represents not only an advancement in terms of the condition and the well-being of Black Americans, but all Americans. Because it has also been part of the way the CBC does its work. To do a work in a way that represents all voices that have been overlooked, all voices that deserve to have power and representation. That has always been the work of CBC. Yes, it is called the Congressional Black Caucus, but people of every background have directly benefited because of the advocacy of CBC members. And invariably, those who have been most left out, those who have been lowest in terms of income, those who have been in rural America, farmers, blue-collar workers, teachers, children. It's a powerful thing that this group of leaders does for the benefit of the entire nation, and yes, Troy, the world. I have traveled with many of you. I have now met with over 100 world leaders. Prime ministers, presidents, chancellors, and kings. And never underestimate the fact that leaders around the world watch what we do in the United States of America and its impact across the spectrum. Never discount. Barbara Lee knows that she's been fighting for all these issues all over the country and the world as one of the original fighters. Talking about understand the condition of Black people in America as a barometer and a measure of the condition and strength of America. Well, who has helped America do the work that has been about uplifting then all people? This group of leaders. So I'm so thankful to be a member and to have had the experience of on many Tuesdays sitting in the meetings next to all of these great leaders while we would eat whatever we were eating for that day, whoever was hosting, it depended on who was hosting, but having robust conversations, intelligent, meaningful debates about the future of our country and our role in it. So welcome everyone. Black history is American history. We celebrate Black history every day. And I feel so blessed and fortunate to have worked with all of you who are the leaders of our nation. So with that, let's get something to eat. We're gonna line up there and do photos while everybody eats. Okay.